Welcome to the Growth Matters podcast. My name is Justice. We talk about business, technology, and personal growth and development. So enjoy and sit back and relax. The Growth Matters podcast covers many elements, such as how can we grow in our faith, family, finances, and friendships. Today's episode is talking about the benefits of having a life coach. We have in the studio with us Jesse Lee, CEO of Lee's Coaching Consulting Services. Jesse Lee has 15 years of experience in the field of education. He has studied psychology, social work, and human services. Jesse's mission is growth, high performance, compassion, relationship building, and seeking to take action in all areas of life, such as mentally, psychologically, spiritually, financially, emotionally. Welcome to the Growth Matters podcast.
Hello, how are you?
Great. We're so thankful for you being here today. Could you please share a little bit about yourself with our listening audience?
Sure. As you know, my name is Jesse Lee. I'm the owner and CEO of Lee's Coaching and Consulting Services. I focus on the psychology of people and kind of investigate how people tick. My experience is in the field of education. I've been in elementary ed for about 5+ years. I did early childhood education for about 7+ years. I also worked in a variety of the banking sector. I was a behavior therapist with autism spectrum children. So I did a combination of things regarding growth, psychologically, socially, different things like that. I also have been studying and with an individualized study degree with a concentration of social work, psychology, and human services, a Bachelor of Science degree at Charter Oak State College. So I have tons of experience, and my thing is just to help people with their internal needs on a daily basis.
Oh, all right. As we get into this conversation, could you please share what is the typical scope of the services of a life coach, what the life coach offers?
Sure, we offer a range of services. I offer spiritual coaching, relationship building coaching, mindset coaching. It could be financial coaching, but that's not really my niche in particular. Also, it can be, so it's mindset coaching, spiritual coaching, high performance coaching, business coaching. That's a big one of mine. I help clients start up businesses and produce profit quickly, and also have access to grants and other funding. So all those different type of services that I offer.
Great. So being a life coach, you can help in many different areas and facets that in people's personal growth and development as individuals as well as business owners, if I'm understanding you correctly.
Yes, absolutely.
Could you share some of the various ways a life coach can help people stay on track and meet their goals?
Yes, I always tell people about the 12-week year. That's a book. I think it's by Brian Moran. That particular book I go by, every 12 weeks, I want a long-term goal to be accomplished. So instead of accomplishing a goal within a year, a long-term goal, I want it to be done in 12 weeks. And then for the short-term goals, I want that to be done on a weekly basis. Consistently, we're going to do goals daily, and then we're going to achieve those goals on a weekly basis so things can speed up on whatever you want to do to be successful. That's kind of my model, what I go by, and my theory regarding that book. That kind of gets my clients motivated. They're always on edge. I push them to kind of be the best that they can be, and I kind of hold their hand through the process of whatever they want to do regarding their personal goals.
Oh, okay. And what are some of the credentials we think a life coach should have in helping people getting through those process?
A lot of people, well, some people that I know think degrees, psychology degrees, or even counseling degrees, or being a doctor of psychology, all that stuff is required. But That's not the case. My personal opinion is experience in a particular field that you have a plethora of knowledge that you can kind of help that client through your experience and through your knowledge. It could be traditional education, it could be education hands-on. But whatever the education that you do have, apply that to create results for that particular client.
Okay, so who's some of the likely client candidates out there to be, that would need a life coach? Would you, in your experience and expertise in dealing with various clients?
Well, what I notice is a lot of people, coffee shops, shopping centers, everywhere, they're complacent and they don't really know 100% what they want to do in life. And they're kind of not happy because where they are. And they're not saying it externally, but they're saying it internally. So anyone who wants change and who's not happy and kind of on eggshells, they don't really know what they want to do, but they kind of need some guidance. Those are the candidates for a life coach. Everyone can have a life coach. If you want change in your life in every facet area, that person is there to hold your hand through the process, give you knowledge, give you assistance, patience, confidential information that you may tell the life coach, that you don't want to tell your family members, that you don't want to tell your spouse, that you don't want to tell different people, your close friends. That information just among you and the life coach, those things matter.
Oh, and so you can help them put out a strategy and a plan based off of your 12-week year by the author, Brian?
Yes, absolutely. And it works pretty well.
Could you walk us through that process? What are some of the things in writing out the plan and some of the mechanics behind it?
Okay, so I'll tell you briefly what I usually do. I do a roadmap. So my first consultation, and it's usually a free consultation, I ask 3 questions. And the 3 questions are, what is your purpose here on this earth? Are you really happy? That's the second question.
Okay.
And the third question is, what do you really like to do?
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so those 3 questions, they kind of merge into each other. But if you understand your purpose, why you're here, and what can you do to affect people to change their lives through your experience, all those things, if you understand that approach, after that first consultation, now we're going to create a roadmap. Okay, I want to be a doctor. How long is it going to take to be a doctor? What I'm going to do, what do I have to know to be a doctor? Let's do the research. Let's find an undergrad program that may be a good fit for you. Let's see the quickest way in the process that you can start this process, and I can kind of hold your hand through the medical process, all this information. So we'll do step by step. So the first thing is, if we find like an undergrad program, I write that down. So I then want my client to find that undergrad program within 2 or 3 days. I'll follow up by the end of the week, and I'll see if that client did that. Then after they find that undergrad program, now the next stage, I want that client to make sure they do the application. I'll go over with them. This is just a hypothetical example.
Yeah.
And after I go over the application with them, now I need this application submitted, and now I need results to happen. So once you submit the application, once you figure out all the documents that you have, now we're going to turn the wheels, and now we're really going to get to work of how to be consistent with being the student that they want to be and the things that they want to get into through doing weekly goals, and that 12-week long-term goal of being a doctor would just create a whole roadmap of through the years of each year and process that they will have to go into to actually become that doctor.
Now, in part of this process, how do you prioritize self-care in your daily routine, and how do you share that with your clients? Because there's some self-care and other pieces I would think that would kind of feed into that internally, externally, and reaching those goals? How would you share how you prioritize your self-care to stay encouraged?
You know what? It's very interesting because one day I was actually talking to a therapist, and a therapist told me one thing that was pretty interesting, that when you set time aside, it don't have to be long.
All right.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can sit down for 3 minutes and have a mini vacation. Close your eyes, breathe inside and out. And as you breathe inside and out, now I want you to visualize being on vacation somewhere, or your favorite place to eat, or wherever you do. Just visualize it. Clear your mind of every negative thought that's going on right now in your mind. And as you clear that mind, now you're on vacation, you're on the beach, you're talking, or whatever you're doing. And for those 3 minutes, your focus is on that vacation or on that thing that you love to do. And after those 3 minutes is over and you're breathing in and out, your body is actually relaxed.
Okay.
And I do that method with my clients.
So that's more of like a centering, bringing you back, find your center and your purpose, as you mentioned earlier.
Yes, bringing you back. And that starts with just a little glimpse of self-care. So if you do that 3 minutes, maybe every hour or 2 or 3 hours throughout the day, that's kind of giving you a consistency of setting time aside for yourself. Where some people are going to need more than 3 minutes, of course, but at least that habit is giving you now, is saying, okay, at 3 o'clock, I know that I need to take 3 to 5 minutes to myself. And you get the routine of actually putting yourself first.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you share a tool or practice that has helped you in your own personal growth and development on your journey?
Well, and it's another book that I go by. It's by Robert Greene. It's called Mastery. And that book, it really talks about your identity, and it talks about how you find yourself through the apprenticeship mode. And as you go into the apprenticeship mode, you're starting to learn new things, and you're starting to develop, and you're starting to become that person that you want to be. But you have to understand that you have to be patient. So as you become developed, eventually you're going to become experienced. And then as you become experienced, then you're going to be able to go out on your own without anybody on top of you, or no boss or superior, because you have developed through your experience of trial and error and all these different things. So it goes through stages. Life goes through stages. So we just have to trust the process of trial and error. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. A lot of us get into that fight or flight attitude, that we get scared of jumping into things and making decisions because of fear. Fear gets in the way of that. And when fear gets in the way of those decisions, now we're on pause, and now we're stagnant because we can't move to the direction that we want to move, because that fight or flight is kind of trying to protect our body from any type of hidden dangers that may happen in the future.
Okay. And part of this mastery, you kind of develop in your identity statement. I am focused. I am consistent. I am persistent. I mean, is that part of that mastery as well from the book?
Yes, absolutely. Your affirmations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the particular book, it don't really focus on the affirmations, but it focus on who you really are and what do you want to be. So a focus on kind of finding yourself. And then you put those affirmations in your life. I am special. I'm confident. I am wonderful. All these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you start to, those things start to come inside of you the more you actually jump into your experience of doing art, or experience of going into history or anthropology or biology, all those different things. When you take risks, now you're starting to be more confident in your skin and, different things like that.
Oh, okay. So what do you think would be the most important thing a life coach can do for the individuals they're coaching?
Produce change internally.
Okay. Speak a little bit more about that, producing that change, a
Okay.
transformation that's taking place.
Transformation. Yes, absolutely. And you know what, Gerald, the thing about it is when I have a client and in the beginning they're nervous. In the beginning they don't know, they don't know they can trust. They don't know how it's gonna go. But as time go by, I want to see consistency and I want to see energy. I want to feel that the person is confident in themselves.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
All right.
Yes. And as I feel that energy, now I know that I'm doing something productive because they're looking at themselves a different way that they never saw before.
Okay. So they're reaching deep down inside and seeing the gifts and the talents they do have.
Absolutely.
In doing that process, do you go through some exercises with them to pull that out of them and get them to see things differently? I mean, what's some
Absolutely.
of your practices that you use in helping them reach that goal and finding themselves?
Absolutely. Well, what I usually do is, and the breathing is good, but I also I have a mirror technique, and I put spirituality in it, and my practice of having that relationship with God or being spiritual, just being able to tap into the supernatural. Even if you don't believe in God, I want to make this clear, because everyone don't believe in God, but whatever you believe in, you need to tap into it so you can be able to lose your physical self to go to the spiritual realm. And in order to do that, you have to do that deep breathing inside and out. Do the breathing. Do the mirror technique is actually looking in the mirror and really evaluating your features, who you are as a person. Do you feel pretty or handsome or however you feel about yourself? And be honest with yourself. If you feel ugly, okay, just say it. If you feel insecure, just say it. But what I want is honesty. And that mirror technique creates a relationship with the coach because the coach and the client is being transparent. Okay, I don't just want that from them, the transparency. I'm going to be transparent through my experience, through my dysfunction that I had as a child and trauma and different things of my dad being an alcoholic and just those different things that I set my experience with my client.
Okay. And so after going through that mirror practice, I mean, how did the clients react and respond? After you do it more than one time, or is it 2 or 3 times that you do this mirror technique?
Yes, I do the mirror technique, but I want them to do the homework at home. I want them to continue to do it on a daily basis. And as they continue to do it, and the client, a couple of clients that I was dealing with, when they came back to me, they actually was honest and wasn't sure who they was. They wasn't confident in themselves. They just felt insecure. They felt that they didn't contribute to the world.
Okay.
Yes. So I will always tell my clients, I want to see the real you. I don't want to see anybody else. I don't want to see any fraud or no one else that you're trying to emulate or try to be like. I want to see who you really are. Don't tell me your profession. Don't tell me your accolades or your degrees. I want to know who you really are, your vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. But can be secure in that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned earlier that because I think leads into my next part of the conversation. For example, what is the role of a coach to help a business owner? And you had mentioned helping them put together a business plan, a development, improving profits and growth in the sales strategies, marketing, branding. Can you share a little bit about that as well, and how you help business owners look at perspective and how they're going to grow their business and themselves and staying on the cutting edge?
Yes, absolutely. I notice that some people, even some business owners that have small businesses, they're unaware of the benefits of having a business and being a business owner and doing certain steps that you can have more leverage and compare yourself to the other people who's doing really well, and your small business can expand to an empire, but you just have to do it the right way. And the right way is, first, I want to see an idea. After I see an idea, I'm a very visual person. So I'm just going to give you an example of an idea that someone said to me. Okay. Someone said, I want to sell clothes. I want to sell t-shirts.
Okay.
I want to, this is an example. They tell me I want to sell t-shirts. So I said, okay. I said, what about a manufacturing company instead of t-shirts? What about creating a fabric assembly of not just t-shirts, but your brand on jeans, on t-shirts, on all types of merchandise that you can actually have people assemble those things, and you can have that brand of having a manufacturing company, and instead of just selling t-shirts, one product. A manufacturing company goes under an umbrella of different things that you can sell, which cause you to make profit in all areas.
Okay. And part of that, do you have them put together a business plan and looking at their marketing strategy, and as a life coach, giving them some guidance around that as well, or?
Yes, yes. And it's a lot of legwork. Now, so for business coaching, yeah, the business plan, of course, after I get the idea, after I get what they really want, the things that they're striving for, I will create a roadmap and somewhat of a template of a business plan that we can go by, a strategy, so we can get the things done pretty quickly. And I'm not saying like overnight, but I want to make sure I see really good progress by at least week 4. And then after week 4, I want to see how we can produce profit after that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if I'm getting it, basically a life coach helps you stay focused, be on track, execute, put a plan together and execute it, and celebrate the victories along the way. Your short-term goals, long-term goals. Is that pretty much accurate? Would you suggest that, or is that basically what a life coach would do?
Yes, that's pretty much accurate. But what I want to say is, a life coach is kind of like a companion some way, because they're there emotionally too,
Okay.
to take in, like when you're stressed out, things that's going on in your life that you're confused. You can call that life coach, and that life coach can kind of redirect you and give you a different outlook of how things is going to go, or how things can be, and they can assist you. And that confidentiality can stay between you and that life coach, as well as other people not knowing what's going on, but they can support you emotionally in building your confidence up. You're special, you're brilliant, you're wonderful. Don't worry about it. Things is going to get better. I'm right there with you. Anything you need, just ask me. Maybe I can help with my advice, right? So that life coach is just holding your hand along the process through broken marriages, through children, maybe something happening with the child, dysfunction, maybe having a special needs child, through trauma, through job placement, different opportunities, different things like that. All those things come into play.
Okay. All right. As we start to wrap up this episode, is there anything else you would like to share as we conclude this episode on today?
Well, I would say anybody that needs a life coach, that needs a life coach and need help, come to Lee's Coaching and Consulting Services. I'm here, relationship building, spiritual coaching, mindset coaching, all those different things. You can go to my website, leescoachingconsulting.com. Contact me for a consultation, and we'll talk.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jesse, for being here today, being our guest on Growth Matters podcast, and sharing the benefits of investing in a life coach. Thank you for listening to the Growth Matters podcast. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share it with the broader community. Until the next time, stay focused, prepare, execute, and celebrate the victories as you continue to grow and develop in every area of your life. I will see you at the next one. Peace. I am your host, Justice.